Hi beautiful, welcome to my channel. In today's video we have a new palette to review. I'm talking about the new palette from Sigma Beauty. I did get this one in PR, so I'm going to show you the beautiful PR package. Here it is. It is called the Spectrum palette from Sigma, and along with the palette they sent their two brushes that they suggest you use with it. Here is the rose gold packaging on the outside, and then on the back side you see all of the shades and the shade names, and then once you open it you have a mirror at the top. And take a look right here at the stunning nude color story. You have every shade of nudish eyeshadow you could possibly want. As you can see, you also get 15 matte shades in here and 5 metallic glimmery shimmers. I have high expectations for those shimmers because Sigma has been improving their formula for a while now, and for the past at least 2 to 3 palettes I have been very impressed by their new metallic shiny shimmer, so I'm hoping that these are not going to disappoint. Their most suggested brushes for this palette are the E35 and the E54, and the palette is coming out on May 13th on the Sigma Beauty website. I do have a discount code with Sigma Beauty, so you can save some money with the code Patty Alonso on the Sigma website always. Also, if you're interested in Sigma brushes, I do also have a collaboration set with Sigma, which I'll link down below, of all of my favorite Sigma brushes, which I think would be perfection for this palette. It says the Spectrum eyeshadow palette is going to retail for $65. Get every nude shade you can imagine with this stunning spectrum of 20 wearable matte, shimmer, and metallic hues, from rich earth tones and soft beiges to glittering golds and deep browns. This timeless palette will never go out of style, making it perfect for every occasion and every skin tone. I'm just reading from what they sent. Personally, my first impressions when I first opened this box was, I gotta make a video. It is stunning. So let me go ahead and swatch it for you next. We'll swatch it across, so we'll do all the mattes first and then the shimmers last. And in today's video, I want to at least create 2 to 3 looks with this palette so we can test out the beautiful nude shades we get in it. I think my favorite palette Sigma has ever released might be the Little Mermaid palette they came out with last holiday season. I still think about it. The metallics, the shimmers, the multi-chromes. Are you kidding me? If that palette is still available, I highly recommend that you check it out. And it's like colorful but wearable at the same time. Just very mermaid vibes, of course. It's a stunning palette. Here are the matte shades. I don't have press-on nails on, so I don't want to show you my fingers too much. But these are swatching pretty creamy and they're very soft and pigmented. Here are the first 2 rows. We have Sand Dollar, Coriander, Beach Grass, Camel, Star Anise, Papyrus, Mohair, Homemade, Macchiato, and Cornucopia. So the last row of mattes is Wallflower, Buttered Waffles, Brickyard, Double Espresso. Oops. Double Espresso is a beautiful shade. Definitely have to use that one. I'm obsessed. It's like cool tone with a bit of like a reddish tone to it. So pretty. Here is the last matte shade and the darkest of the matte shades, and it's called Peppercorn. So check it out. These are all of the matte shades swatched right here. Very creamy, very pigmented, not too powdery. Again, Sigma has improved their eyeshadow formula so much since I first got introduced to the brand years ago. I'm very impressed by their new shades in comparison to what they used to make. Here are 4 out of the 5 shimmers swatched. Here's Dune, Tiger's Eye, Spiced Peaches, Honeysuckle, and then this right here is the last shade, which is called Clairvoyant. And so here are the 5 metallic glimmery shimmery shades swatched. What we're not getting in this palette is any like duochrome of any kind, but they are really nice shiny metallic shimmers. And here's what they look like when you pair them with the mattes. Let's get started with the first eyeshadow look, and I'm going to use the shade Papyrus here on a reference number 15. And I'm starting my look by applying Papyrus on the crease of my eye and the outer third of my eyelid back here. And as you can see, it's just making the crease a bit more defined in comparison to how pale this one looks. And that's going to be kind of the base for the eyeshadow look. Let me do the same thing over here. I'm going to deepen things up a little more with the shade Wallflower, and I'm still using the same Refer number 15 brush. So I'm just going to tap Wallflower on the outer third of my eyelid and then start building it into my crease. I really want to use the shade Double Espresso, but I don't want this eye look to become super dark, so I'm going to try and do a smoky wing with it. This is the Shoto 00 brush from Refer, and I'm just going to dip the tip of it into the shade Double Espresso. I was trying to find a smaller card to do this with, but this is what I have. So I'm going to just put this right here, and from the outer third of my eyelid, just work Double Espresso towards the tail of my eyebrow to create a smoky wing with my thin blending brush. Just like so. That might be a bit too dramatic, but I'll fix it. Let's leave it. Let's leave it for now. I don't want to mess with it. I'm gonna switch my card around and do the same thing over here. And then if there's anything you want to fix back here, just go back with your bigger brush and blend it into the crease. I do want it to look sharp underneath, but not on top. After I mess with it a little bit, here is what I have. And then I'm going to do a shimmer all throughout the eyelids, or maybe two. Spiced Peaches is definitely going to be on my eyelids in a second. So I'm going to grab Spiced Peaches with my finger, and I'm going to just add it by tapping it throughout the eyelid area. I really like how this is coming out, by the way. All throughout the lid. Love. My Refer number 28 brush in the shade Dune, and Dune is going to be my inner corner shade. I'm going to add it on the innermost corner of the eye here and work it in around the third of the way. For the under eye, I'm very tempted to leave it like this, but I think I do want to add something in between my lower lashes, but it looks good the way it is. However, I'm going to grab a very small blending brush in the shade Wallflower, and I'm going to smoke Wallflower from the outer third of my lower lash line and working it towards my tear duct area. And the same thing over here. Just doing little back and forth soft motions without a lot of pressure. And I think I'm going to leave it at this. I really like the way that this turned out. I like the sharpness of the smoky wing with the color Double Espresso. I like the shimmer on the eyelids, and it's like subtle but not really. Really love the way this eye look turned out. I'm back, and I did add lashes on, but they're like super soft, not too long, just to add a tiny bit more fullness to this eye look. And on my waterline, I'm just going to add the Fake Awake eyeliner from Tarte, just to further kind of brighten and open up my eyes. So check it out. This right here is the first look with this Spectrum palette from Sigma Beauty. I really love the way this eye look came out. I love that it's soft, that it's a bit smoky. I like that it has the ethereal shimmeriness to it. And when I come back for looks 2 and 3, I might be wearing something different because I'm going to film that tomorrow. I'm back, different day, I promise you. This is a different black shirt, and let's get going with 2 more looks with this newest Spectrum palette from Sigma. I'm starting with a Refer number 15 brush, and this time I'm going to start with the shade Beach Grass up here. And I'm going to blend Beach Grass all throughout the crease of my eye. Also adding a bit to the outer third back here. If you hear background noise, my daughter's downstairs being the tornado that she is, so I apologize. I'm going to switch to a Refer number 1 and grab the shade Star Anise right here. And I'm going to add this color to the outer third of my eyelid by tapping back here. And then I'm going to blend that color into the shade Beach Grass. A bit more Star Anise, and I am smoking out my lower lash line, just back and forth around halfway underneath my eye. I really like the smoky crease from look number 1, so I think I'm going to do another smoky crease, this time with the shade Peppercorn. And I'm going to use the clear eyeshadow protector from the palette this time to hold in place and smoke out the outer third of my eyelid back here with a very thin blending brush. It came out horrible because it's not going straight up. I didn't place this correctly, so we're going to easily clean it though by just using a makeup wipe and wiping up back here. And I'm going to try again, first with the reference number 1 and whatever's left on it, and then a little bit more peppercorn on the smaller blending brush. This is a Eyeshadow 00 from Refer. Much better, right? Much better. Reference number 1 once again, and we are just making sure everything is nicely diffused. And I'm retouching the under eye back here as well. With the E54 from Sigma, I'm going to grab the shade Clairvoyant, which is the darkest shimmer. And I'm going to tap it right next to the smokiest part of the eye back here. Bringing it almost to the center of the eye, but not quite there. I'm switching to a flat brush. This is my reference number 2 and the shade Tiger's Eye. And this is going to be the shade right in the center of my eyelid. And so I'm just tapping it from the previous shimmer all throughout the center of the eyelid and extending it forward. And then the shade Dune for the inner third of the eyelid, still using the same brush. With the shade Beach Grass on a clean reference number 1, I'm going to finish the under eye by just smoking everything out down here. And to finish it up, I'm using a brown eyeliner in my waterline. And so take a look right here with just mascara on before I add any lashes. This is the finished second look with this palette. Before I add any lashes, which I'm not even sure that I'm going to do because my mascara today looks pretty good. I'm going to finish up with the third look. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to use the shade Coriander here all throughout the crease of this eye, kind of as a base with a bit of color. And I want to darken that with the shade Caramel. So I'm gonna grab that one next. Looks pretty good. Here's, oh, Camel, I'm sorry, not Caramel. And so I'm going to add Camel to the outer third back here. Oh, let's do a halo eye. That's what I think I want to do. So here's Camel, and with the same big brush, honestly, I should have switched to a smaller one. I'm going to do the inner third, switching to a smaller brush and a bit more Camel so that I can be more precise. I'm adding Camel to the inner third and the outer third of my eyelid and swiping across the crease so that they meet in the middle. Going to the shade Cornucopia next to do the same. A little bit of Cornucopia on the outer third, blending it into the crease ever so slightly, and a bit more Cornucopia to the inner third of my eyelid here. I'm also going to grab that same color on the tip of my brush and blend it all throughout my lower lashes. It looks dark kind of all across. It doesn't have a super light center, and I'm wondering if I should take some of the darkness from the center of my eyelids or just dab the shimmer on top. Right now I'm leaning to just adding the shimmer right in the middle. But I am going to finish the under eye before I make any further decisions with the shade Coriander on a clean reference number 1. And I'm just going to smoke everything up down here. I'm going to use the shade Honeysuckle and just dab it right in the middle. Honeysuckle doesn't have as much shimmer as I was expecting. I was expecting kind of like Tiger's Eye. Tiger's Eye is very shimmery, so I think I'm going to do that one over top right here through the center. Much better, right? You can definitely see the shimmery, glimmery sparkle in that one. Some of them are sparklier than others. And Tiger's Eye has beautiful ethereal sparkles. Sand Dollar, which is the lightest matte shade, and I'm just lightening up the inner part of the crease here, the inner corner. And I am going to go back with the tip of my reference number 1 to blend the mattes into that lighter matte. And then I do want to finish up with a shimmer, and the best inner corner shimmer from this palette is definitely the shade Dune. So I'm just going to tap Dune right on the inner corner. Last but not least, brown eyeliner right in the waterline. And just like that, here is my third and final eyeshadow look with this palette. Nice and smoky, a bit of a halo eye, even though it's not like super contrasty because I didn't use the lighter shimmers on the center of the eyelid. It's more like a smoky with a hint of a halo. And a brighter inner corner. I like the sharpness of this one, and I really like the first look I created with this palette. I think that one might still be my favorite. Let me know which look was your favorite down in the comment section below. And before you go, let me give you my final thoughts on the new Sigma Beauty Spectrum palette. If you are a nude eyeshadow lover, I don't see how you could possibly go wrong with this palette. You have every nude matte shade you could possibly imagine in this palette. Every nude matte shade you could want. It's got some cool tones, it's got lots of neutrals, it's got some warm tones as well. You have 5 shimmers, to complement the beautiful matte, and you have a lot of depth to it as well. You go from really light to really dark back here. By the way, if you struggle to create eyeshadow looks on your own, you could kind of go row by row. Each row, it's kind of its own color story, and use lighter build up intensity, smoke it out, and add shimmer if needed by just concentrating on the lines across this palette. Or you could do like me and just go all over the place with it. Is it a must have? You need it in your life? You're going to miss out on something if you don't have it? Absolutely not. I feel like we have seen lots of palettes that have similar color stories to this one. Chances are you have similar shades to this one in your collection already. So it really depends on your needs. Like if you're someone who exclusively uses nude shades and you know you would use the heck out of a palette like this one, then by all means grab it. But it's by no means a groundbreaking color story. We've seen lots of nude palettes in the past that are just as good as this one. I will say quality wise, the palette is excellent. The mattes are nice and blendable, they're buildable, they're pigmented, they're not powdery at all whatsoever. I experienced barely any fallout when creating the eyeshadow looks for this palette, and even though all of the shimmers are quite shiny, they don't all have the same level of intensity to them. If you prefer a little less shine, you can find it here. If you prefer a lot more shine like I do, you can also find it in here, in particular with the shade Tiger's Eye over here. Anyways, I like it. I like it quite a bit. If you are in the hunt for a new all nude natural eyeshadow palette, this is definitely a good contender, so definitely check it out. And if you're shopping anything from the Sigma Beauty website, remember I do have a discount code with them. My code is Patty Alonso, the way it's spelled right here on the screen. I'll have all of the links and codes in the description box as always. If you guys like today's video, don't forget to please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. I love you all so much. Thank you for watching, and I hope to see you back in the next video. Bye.